Alright, so the second bit of this video, or second video. So in the previous video, we had made a matrix. You can see it on the screen. 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, minus 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 7, and now we're supposed to reduce it to the row reduced echelon form. The row reduced echelon form mainly consists of pivot elements, which are 1, and anything to the anything bottom of the pivot element should be 0, and anything to the top as well. So let's start off by doing that, and the zeros usually, and each pivot element is to the right of the previous pivot element, right? So let's start off by doing our first operation. Now the first operation we're going to do on the first column, right? The first row. So essentially what we've got is A within brackets 1 comma 1 comma colon. What this does is we are essentially changing the first row, every element of the first row. That's why we've got the colon on this in the column part. So we are changing every element of the first row, and how we changing it is we are dividing every element by 3. So let's do that. So 1 by 3 brackets, just in case, 1 by 3 times, again, since we're changing the first column, 1 comma that, right? So now this will essentially give us this output. Yeah, so what you get is this. So the first element is now 1, and that happens to be our pivot element. Now for the second column, we've got to turn that into 0. So what we're going to do is subtract the second column with the first column. The second row with the first row, right? Because all our operations are row operations. So let's go ahead and do that. So A, same thing, within brackets. Now because it's the second row, we've got 2, right? So now we are subtracting the first row from the second row. So let's do that. So essentially the same thing, 2 comma that minus 1 times A 1 colon, right? That's that. That seems right. Right, so that's what we've done, and our second row, the second row first column, that element is now 0. So now our objective is to turn 4 into 0. That is the third row. Our objective is to turn that into 0 as well. So let's do that. Now we can do another operation. We can multiply the first row with 4 and then subtract that from the third row. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 3 comma colon, 3 comma colon, which is equal to A, again same 3 comma colon, because it's the third row, minus 3 times, or rather 4 times, sorry, 4 times A 1 comma that, right? So 4 times, we are subtracting 4 times the first row from the third row. So that will give us that. So essentially we've got that, right? Now we've got to turn the first element of the second row, the first non-zero element of the second row, into 1. It's 1.667. So let's see. What have I done here? So 3 by 5 into, good, right? So back to where we were. Now the first non-zero element of the second row is 5 by 3. So one way of fixing that is, excuse me, by multiplying that by 3 by 5. So let's go ahead and do that. So A, that's going to be our second column, second row, sorry. Again, same thing, 2, that times 3 by 5, because that's 5 by 3. 1.667 is 5 by 3, so let's go ahead and do that, times 3 by 5, right? So we'll get that to be our first element. Now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract, let's see, that's 5 by 3 as well, so we can, since that is 5 by 3 and that's 1, we can go ahead and do a row operation, multiplying the second row with 5 by 3 and then subtracting that from the third row, sorry. So let's do that. So 3 comma is equal to a, let's see, same thing, 3 comma minus 5 by 3 times, times the second column, so second row, so A2, that. So what we should get is that. Now what we do is we subtract the second row multiplied by 1 by 3 from the first row. So let's do that. So A1 is equal to a, same thing, minus a, what's that, 2 comma multiplied by 1 by 3. So another brackets, 1 by 3 and the star. So let's see, right? So that is our row reduced echelon form. So we've got 1 1, so these are our pivot elements. That's one pivot element and that's another pivot element. So this is our row reduced echelon form, and the last row is 0. In the next video we will see what the rank is. In fact, there is a much simpler way of finding the row reduced echelon form. The number of pivots in the row reduced echelon form will invariably give you the rank of the matrix. So yes.